Okay.
Okay, Matt. What are leg extensions good for?
Working the quads. That I better get on. Okay, leg extensions are working for working the quadriceps. I reckon I can remember them as well. Vastus medialis, intermedius, and lateralis, and then you've got, so they're responsible for extending the knee, and then you've got your rectus femoris, which is extending the knee and also the hip. You like that, don't you, Jack? Yeah, only 10 years out of practice. Okay, what other questions you got for me?
So we've got, let's see what's work. Are leg extensions bad for the knees?
It all depends on your knees, more so than anything else. So leg extensions, extending the knee, getting a good setup. Oh my God, how tight has someone done this? Getting a good setup is the starter. So let's undo this a minute. So getting a good setup, so let's set it up for me. So it all depends on someone's knees. Someone might have knee issues already. For example, I can think of my dad being one, or Nick, who I train with, both of which are in their 70s. So for example, Nick has issues doing a full extension and feels a bit of pain, but he is in his 70s and has trained all his life. So he would do leg extensions and just come part way up. My dad's had knee replacement. If he was on a cable machine, that initial load would aggravate my dad's knees. However, on something like this one, where the strength curve is different, you ain't got all the load at the beginning, then he's fine using something like this. So different horses for different courses, it all depends.
All right. And then let's have a look at, are leg extensions safer than squats?
There's different risks. In general, yes. You would struggle to make anything than a basic mistake doing a leg extension, but you're unlikely to injure yourself. So is there a greater risk of injury doing squats? Yes, but if you do squats correctly and well, then you're limiting your risk of injury, same as anything.
Cool.
Okay?
And then one more, I think. This one's quite good. Should you and how should you point your toes during the leg extension?
Okay, it all depends. So there's different things, like where should you sit, should you point your toes in different directions, should you point them forwards. Myself, it goes down to setup again. So normally someone would fluff the lift if they're trying to lift too much weight. So that's typical. Myself, with the seat position, we put an extra hole in this one because I like to sit back. So me mentioning before the rectus femoris is if someone's got a lot of weight, then they tend to hunch over like this, so you're shortening the muscles, so I would lean back. When it goes on to the toes, rather than pointing them forwards or pointing them up, I'm less concerned by that. Put them wherever is comfortable. However, similar like when you see people train biceps and they train biceps at different angles, I would argue that there's a greater case to do this with legs. So me mentioning before the medialis, intermedius, lateralis. So whereas I'm addressing the rectus femoris issue by leaning back, same thing goes with these other muscle heads. So for example, a lot of people would stand with a duck foot like that. So their medialis might be built up more. Personally, I actually stand like this, which is good for me. But where most people stand like that, then there's an argument to perform leg extensions, toes pointed in, and then toes pointed forwards. Myself, where I stand with toes pointed forwards, and I choose to do all three. So I will do 21s quite often. A bit more weight than this, I'll put an extra 10 on. But lean back, nice and controlled, so I'll do toes in to start, because that's normally the failing for people. 7 reps, I'll do toes out, 7 reps. And then toes pointed forwards. Okay? Anything else?
Let's see if that's a good one. Let's go for... Okay.
Am I going to like it?
What are the cons, or are there any cons of leg extensions?
We crossed over a bit where we were saying about the knees, so it's more depends on the individuals. I like leg extensions as an isolation exercise, you could argue that a con of that would, you'd be better off doing a primary exercise like a squat, for example. So let's say you were short on time for your training session. Would I favour a squat over a leg extension? Yes. However, supplementary to your compound lifts, then a leg extension is a very good exercise.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right.